Hey, I'm here with my good friend John K. Stoner, and John recently sent me an email about the Mennonites Against Militarism campaign. And John asked me, as he often does, a provocative question. He said, "When are you going to talk about the link between militarism and racism and structural injustice in the U.S. and how they are connected?" And I said, "Well, I'm not, but you are. So we're going to get on here. And John, you tell me and tell all the folks in the MAM campaign, just enlighten us a little bit and get our brains thinking. What is that connection between militarism? What undergirds it that you can also see being used to undergird other injustice, especially racial injustice in our country?"
Well, I think that nationalism is probably the thing that undergirds all of them in this country and in other countries of the world. I would say that both slavery and war assert a racial or a national superiority, which relegates human brothers and sisters to a subordinate status. I mean, look at it. What does racism say? We're a superior race. We've been called by God to order society in this hierarchical fashion, and it just happens that whites are superior to blacks. So war is justified because we're called by God for a special mission. We're sitting on a hill. We're an exceptional country in which democracy and capitalism have shined, and we must share that with the world. And in that process, what do we have to do? We have to dehumanize other peoples, other nations. What has racism done? How does it work? Dehumanizes.
You know, the work that we've done with returning vets or thinking about the spiritual wounds of war, that's one thing that we realized, that the Army had to change the way that it trained soldiers at some point, and you had to dehumanize the enemy, and you have to refer to them in some abstract way, because otherwise the human conscience is such that it can't be made to do that. So that dehumanization process that happens to happen in the military, you see that too throughout history and racial literature and every other kind of racist tinged propaganda.
Right. You cannot think of other people as your brothers and sisters and kill them. That's why I say all war is fratricide. It's in the family. It's killing brothers and sisters who we find a way to claim are not our brothers and sisters. And what argument can be used for war that couldn't be used in some fashion to justify slavery or torture?
And it has been done. Well, now tell me, I know you think a lot about these things and how they intersect with other parts of society too. So how does economics figure into this? Is there an economics to militarism that also could be seen in structural racism?
Yeah, I think so, because you look at it, the economic argument for slavery, it's always there, but it's denied one way or another. And it's the same way with war. It goes sort of like this. Our economy depends on it. This is how we make our living. It says, in plain words, these people have something we need. They won't give it to us willingly, so we're going to have to take it from them. In the case of slavery, what those people have is war. I mean, in the case of slavery, they have labor that
Right.
we want, we need. In the case of war, it's resources, it's oil or land. You know the old question, how did our oil get under their land?
Right.
Or war in the history of this country started out, and really hasn't changed much, by killing indigenous people because for whatever reason, there they are living on our land. How did that happen?
Amazing how that happens. So many people get in the way of the imperial machines. Well, there's a lot more that we could talk about with this, John. Thanks for helping us make those two connections. I guess maybe the last one, since this is Mennonites Against Militarism, and we are people of the book and Scripture. How has Scripture been used to undergird militarism and racism, and what are some examples of that?
Well, both slavery and war arise from selective use of biblical texts. Honest people will have to say in the end there are contradictory texts in the Bible, and those who justify slavery and war choose bad texts over good ones. And those who do this deny that they do it. And those who continue to do it, with war, they say, there it is. Killing those people is justified. Same thing was said about slavery. The Bible, like all of us, has its better angels and its worse angels in it, and we're responsible for which we choose.
Hey, John, thanks so much for joining us here. And Mennonites Against Militarism, we're just getting started, just getting this conversation started. I know we'll be talking to you again soon, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It was good to be here.